Most people roll into the Seder and they know this part. So then what's the point? We have to delve deeper to understand what's really going on. Every moment has a theme and every nuance matters. And when you go through it, you come out a different person. So that's what we're going to explore together. The themes, the lessons, the reasons, the purpose. Because that's what this is really all about. Okay, now we're delving into the world of talking. This is where we think the Seder begins, right? Because the purpose of the Seder is to tell the story, and we haven't said anything yet, really. Right? So now we're about to start Maggid. Maggid means to talk, right? The Haggadah, Maggid. This is the connection. This is the moment. Okay, and in many Seders, like this is where everyone gets like all like jazzed up, like we're ready to get started. But remember, we're not walking in clean. We're walking in with key principles already. Kadesh, Orchatz, the mind and the actions, right? The fundamentals of how we operate. Karpatz, or Yachatz, Achdus, desire, the fundamentals of how to get to Geula. So we've got the fundamentals of us, the fundamentals of what we have to understand. So now we're walking into Maggid, we're coming in prepped. We've built the foundation. Now we got to lay the story on the foundation. So if you were designing the Haggadah, what would you probably do is say, great, like flip the pages, like let's get started. Jews in Egypt, right? We don't. We go right away with this interesting Aramaic piece, this beginning called HaLachma, Anya, right? HaLachma, Anya, this is the bread of affliction. The achlu avasna ba'ard Mitzrayim. This is where our parents ate the bread in Mitzrayim. And then we go, whoever's hungry, come and join us. Whoever needs, come and be with us. Hashtahach, and here we're today, but Lashon haba ba'ard, we're soon going to be in Eretz Yisrael. Now we're slaves, but in the future we're going to be free. Okay, so what in the world? Now we're starting with, this is the bread, and what does that mean? And everyone can some join us, but how are they joining us? The Seder already started, and why do we launch the Maggid with that declaration? So I heard this beautiful idea that I want to share. We have to understand how we are approaching this. Right? It's really important that along the way we are able to uncover and in some cases destroy and in some cases embolden key themes. Remember, the Seder didn't just start. It didn't even just start with Kadesh. The Seder began with cleaning for chametz. The Seder began with burning chametz, with checking for chametz, right? The Seder is a moment of cleanliness. It's almost as if, I didn't see this anywhere, but I'm thinking, it's almost as if when you get to Yom Kippur, you don't just roll into Kol Nidre, right? It's Elul and Slichos and Rosh Hashanah and Seres Tshuva and Shab. By the time you get to Kol Nidre, you're like clean. And then you say this thing called Kol Nidre, and what does that mean? It's almost like an equivalent, you know what I mean? Like, you're searching and cooking and preparing and worrying, and this is of chametz and that of chametz, and cleaning over and turning your family, and finally you're getting there, and then you b'dikas chametz and beer chametz, and finally you're getting to that point. Now you're at, so to speak, the equivalent Kol Nidre. And the same thing, like almost, right? Like the Aramaic line, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you're getting here clean. And it's critical, because the first words out of our mouths for Maggid are HaLachma Anya. So I saw this idea as to Anya means two things, right? Anya means poverty, and the Anya is an ani. Also, as the Mefarshim tell us, Anya means also to speak. Lechem she'onim alav dvarim harbe, things that are spoken about a lot. So we say in front of us is this bread, and this bread has multiple meanings. On the one hand, this is the bread of nothing. On the other hand, this is the bread of speech. Now, if you think about it, these are critical themes. Nothingness and speech. Why? Because we have to understand something. That one of the great blocks to our geula, our personal redemption, is something called kochi. Hashem says very clearly, one of the things that I'm worried about from you, my people, is when you get to Israel, at the end of this full journey, Egypt, splitting the sea, the desert, you're going to plant and harvest and say, B'kochi uve'otzim yadi asali esachayel hazeh. One of the things we remember every single day is that we don't bring out. Our strength is not what drives us. What drives us is our connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem gives us strength. Hashem gives us wisdom. Hashem gives us our lives. But the minute there's me, the minute I put myself in this world, the minute it becomes about my strength, my koach, when I build paradigms, when I build families, when I build companies, when I build countries, when I build programs based on a foundation that says our hard work is really going to drive this. Now, even if I play to Hashem, and like I give him tzedakah just in case, so I pray because I want it quicker, whatever. If in my head I'm really relying on myself and really believe that it is my hard work and it is my effort that's going to drive results, right? The harder I work, the luckier I get. If we believe that it is really my strength that's going to drive my money, my family, my country, my security, my safety, my future. If we believe that, we are stuck in a world called kochi. That's gaiva. It's arrogance. Hashem gives us the ideas. He wants us to win. He's pushing for us. He's pulling for us. He's making miracles for us. But the minute you think that it's me, we have arrogance, even if it's a little arrogance. Arrogance is called chametz. That's why we're so careful to root it out of our lives, because we know that the arrogance in our hearts, the me-ness, the self-centeredness, the ability to build a framework of my strength outside Hashem is what's driving us from Hashem. It's what keeps us in gullahs. It's what keeps us slaves. That has to be rooted, which is the entire process of chametz. We sit at the Seder, and the first thing we do is we look at that matzah, which represents humility, which represents nothingness, which represents that we are only what you give us, Hashem, which represents that we are willing to work on ourselves and refine ourselves and watch ourselves to make sure there's no puffery, there's no me. The entire work until now comes down to HaLachma Anya, to that thing on my table that represents I want to live a life in which I realize I am nothing without you. You give me my mind. You give me my ideas. You give me my strength. I'll work. We're partners. But I'm nothing. HaLachma Anya, reframes tell us. Once we realize that matzah is really us, and we're nothing. We have nothing. We have zero. We're all whatever Hashem puts in, then the HaLachma Anya becomes a thing that you can speak about a lot. Remember, in Judaism, speech is the point of creation, right? Hashem Amar, Baruch She'amar V'haya Olam, right? Basar Ma'amaros. In the physical world, our hands create. In the spiritual world, our mouth creates. Our ability to speak. We're about to start the Seder. We're about to start Maggid. Our ability to speak in a way that brings blessing, to create spiritual future comes when we realize that it's all about spirituality. It's all Hashem. And when we tap into that, Shir Hamalos, Esa Eina Helarim, we look up into the hills. Me'ayin is from nothingness, Yavo Ezri. When I realize that I'm only what Hashem gives, that's where I get my strength. Then when we live in that space, then we can sit around and go, all I have is matzah, all I have is nothing, but everyone come. Because it's unlimited. When we tap into that place, it's unlimited. So therefore, whoever needs. And when I'm nothingness and I'm zero and I'm all what Hashem puts in, anything is possible. Hashta hacha, then next year we can be in Eretz Yisrael. Hashta, right now we're Avdei, l'shana haba ben Chorah. The possibilities are endless. We think by being humble we're limiting ourselves. By being humble, we're expanding ourselves. What's really limiting us is our ego. Because now we limit ourselves to what's in my head, what I think I can do. Hashem says, you think you can do it? Batzlacha. You think you can really? Good luck. Let's see how it works for you. Jewish people don't have that. We don't have that. And we try this all the time. Watch. The more we try to be like everybody else, the more they hate us. The more we think that we're in control, the more they come and they breach. Everything that, and you look in history, whenever we think we got it, Hashem says, no, you don't. You're my people. You're in this world to prove that I run the world. Your only reason for existence is to show the world that I'm here. And if you're going to think that it's you, you're ruining your whole purpose of being here. Pesach comes. It's the night of freedom. We begin with, it's all you. It's all you. I got nothing. HaLachma Anya. That matzah is me. And the minute we say HaLachma Anya and we mean it, we walk in and we begin that Maggid, and then Lechem She'onim Lav Davim Harbe, then our mouths become channels of blessing. And then what's in front of us could be unlimited. Anything becomes possible. And the whole night takes on a different form. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us for this series. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that it enhances your Seder and brings you closer to Hashem. We have some cliff notes for you in case you want a Seder companion. You can download it. Check out the series and the downloadable stuff at pesach.us. pesach.us. And hope you have a great holiday, and may we see the full redemption soon.